Hello, thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Frank Omalape, and here are some of the reports we're filing now. The presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, is back in the country from the United Kingdom after a 2-week break from the campaign trail. The APC flag bearer arrived at Abuja at about 5:40 a.m. and declared that he was physically and mentally fit to continue soliciting votes of Nigerians in March 28 presidential elections. Buhari was accompanied by his Deputy Campaign Director General, Senator Olorunniyi Mamora, told journalists that he took some time off the campaigns to get some rest.
Well, I just went home for a couple of weeks to rest. That's what I did.
Okay, because there was rumor that you were in hospital there. Can you clarify this?
What's wrong for me goes wrong to them. I don't hear now. Aren't you seeing me?
Very young.
Have you seen a sick man? You said yes. Well, I went to Chatham House. I read an address, and there was a question and answer session, which you as a pressman ought to know. So what do you want me to talk about again? I don't think so.
That have been called.
One man doesn't make a party. A party, don't forget that we are a number of opposition parties that come together from APC. So no one man is the party. This party belongs to all the parties that come together.
The presidency had said the President Goodluck Jonathan is to lead government officials as well as sportsmen and women on an outdoor physical training exercise on Saturday in Abuja. This, he says, it with a view to promoting sport and fitness in Nigeria. A training exercise, which will start at 7 a.m., will include a walk from the presidential villa by President Jonathan, accompanied by top government officials. Presidential spokesman Ruben Abati said in a statement that the program, which will also include jogging, physical stretches, and light aerobics, will culminate in a solidarity rally for President Jonathan at the Eagle Square. He added that sports personalities including Mary Onyali, Austin Iguabon, Kan Nwako, Joseph Yobo, and Chika Chukwumerije are expected to participate in the physical exercise and solidarity rally. The People's Democratic Party says Lagos residents should be protesting against former Governor Bola Tinubu rather than joining the solidarity march called by the All Progressive Congress in support of its national leaders. This, he says, is because they deserve to know how the APC leader acquired the properties and assets outlined in a recent documentary aired on private television station. Spokesman for the PDP's presidential campaign team, Femi Fani-Kaude, made his call at a news conference in Abuja ahead of the planned rally to drum up support for Tinubu. He also claimed that the opposition party has mobilized youth with 10,000 naira each to show their support for the former Lagos state.
It is sardonic that the APC is mobilizing its members and supporters in Lagos and environs for a march to sing songs in Tinubu's honor and chant his praises when, in fact, the people of Lagos, having now known the extent of his manipulative and acquisitive stranglehold on the economy of the state, should be the ones to embark on a spontaneous protest against the will of one man to perpetually subjugate the people to an ungodly economic and political control. We make bold to say that if there should be any rally or protest in Lagos, such should be directed against the exposed fake lion of Bodilon. The people should use the rally to demand to know how he acquired the humongous items of property listed against his name in the squalid yet revelatory documentary.
Now, the People's Democratic Party's presidential campaign organization has said that the wife of President Goodluck Jonathan was right in describing the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, as brain dead. It insists that patient Jonathan has no apology for making that comment at a campaign rally. Spokesman for the campaign team, Femi Fani-Kaude, said in a statement that the First Lady is entitled to her opinion and has every right to express herself in any way she deems fit. This, according to him, is because her husband is in the presidential race. The PDP campaign spokesman also wants the APC to brace itself for what he described as relentless verbal attacks. The All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Organization has called on President Goodluck Jonathan to bring back the missing Chibok girls through their parents rather than sending emissaries and making more pledges. Spokesman for the campaign team, Garba Shehu, said in a statement issued in Abuja that the only thing Nigerians have been hearing almost a year after the abduction are failed promises and dashed hopes. According to Shehu, the government began by claiming that some of the girls were rescued before expressing doubt about the situation and later alleging that a ceasefire as well as a hostage release agreement had been reached with Boko Haram. He insisted that no amount of money disbursement or promises will assuage the pain and extinguish the torment, adding that all the parents require is to have their children back with them. The APC campaign spokesman also regretted the initial 2-week delay, during which he noted that the President Jonathan said nothing on the abduction. The All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Organization has accused the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, and Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, of promoting violence and hate with their inability to sanction radio and TV stations. Industry players and groups will continuously breach regulations governing their activities. The campaign team specifically challenged the NBC to make good its threat to wield the big stick against airing broadcast stations by applying its code to all industry players across board without fear or favor. Spokesman for the campaign team, Garba Shehu, said in a statement that recent comments made by the NBC DG Emekamba were heartwarming, but he insists that the commission has not matched its words with action. He argued that NBC failed to act against some TV stations which aired a documentary on the party's stance. The governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos, Jimmy Agbaje, has debunked claims by an Indigbo group under the auspices of Association of Concerned Igbo Residents of Lagos State that those endorsing the PDP candidate are merely after material gains and do not have the interests of the entire Igbo at heart. In an interview after his adoption by Indigbo rulers and the conferment of a title on him in Lagos, he says the PDP is a party for all, irrespective of tribes.
If you followed us to Ladipo Market, where you have predominantly Igbo people there, you will know whether the people believe that they have their interest or not. They have marginalized, they have disenfranchised them considerably, and it's time for them to speak with their permanent voters' cards. I think they just feel threatened. It is clear where we stand, that we're for a Lagos that accommodates everybody. We're not out to discriminate against people. Lagos needs people to thrive on.
Other person going by any name or by any association, I see them and those who are opening shops because of the situation we find ourselves. Whenever there's political they open shop to make money out of the gullible politicians. But the politicians who know the leaders of Igbos, know the people to contact. So if anybody is talking on casting aspiration in the committee of Igbo nations in Lagos, is doing that to his own peril.
You're watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more stories after this timeout. Stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
only on CoreTV News.
It's CoreTV News at 7 from our Lagos studios. For more information on our news and other programs, like our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can as well follow at CoreTV News NG. And for live streaming, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. And now the Nigerian authorities have formally arraigned the alleged mastermind of the Nyanya bus terminal bombing, Aminu Oguche, and 5 others on an 8-count charge of terrorism. The suspects were docked at a federal high court in Abuja, but pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Counsel to Oguche, Ahmed Raji, made an oral application for the transfer of the alleged bombers from the custody of the Department of State Service to Kuje Prison. But prosecution counsel Mohammed Dere objected on the ground that the suspect would be better protected in DSS custody. In a short ruling, trial judge Justice Ahmed Mohammed, relying on Section 27 of Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013, held that the security agency has the power to detain a suspected terrorist. He adjourned the case to March 17 and ordered the accused person to remain with the DSS.
Our own understanding and our view is that it will be oppressive for an accused person to remain with the investigator when the investigation has been concluded. It will make a better sense and a fairer sense of justice if the accused person is kept with another agency and not necessarily with the investigator. That is just the point. But disappointment, no. His lordship has ruled, and that is it.
Report has it that Boko Haram fighters have killed over 68 people, mainly teenagers, and the elderly in a fresh attack on Njaba, setting the entire village on fire in Damboa local government area of Borno State. A civilian JTF leader said that the fleeing fighters attacked the remote village between Monday and Tuesday morning and touched houses in the community. Also, a military source said on Thursday that the Boko Haram fighters started shooting into houses in Jabara about 5:30 a.m. on Tuesday. The village is close to the town of Damboa and about 100 kilometers south of Maiduguri, the state capital. A Damboa resident, Okore Bulama, whose father was among the people killed, said he was the only son of his father. He also complained that the military had not visited the village. He said there was no military presence in Njaba village since last Monday. A senior local government official in Damboa, who declined to be named, said that most of the victims were teenagers. Meanwhile, eyewitnesses say Boko Haram fighters have massed in Goza, Borno State, and killing several residents in the town considered to be the group's headquarters. Senator Alin Dume revealed he received a report of the insurgents' build-up in the town where Boko Haram last year had declared its caliphate. Ndome, who has fled Goza on Tuesday, said the militant fighters had also killed several male residents in the town. According to his source, who confirmed the development, is set looking at the rate at which it was losing territories to security agents in recent times and decided to embark on mass killings. In the meantime, the Chief of Defense Staff, Marshal Adeshola Amosu, says the military operations in the insurgency-ravaged region had totally destabilized and destroyed the Boko Haram stronghold by damaging its command and control in the area. Amosu stated this while he appeared before the Senate Committee on Defense for the 2015 budget defense. He commended the collaborative efforts of the neighboring countries of Chad, Cameroon, Benin Republic and Niger in the fight against the insurgents in the northeast. He says the bilateral cooperation between Nigerian soldiers and those countries gave the nation's security forces a lot of boost because they had blocked the terrorists from escaping into other countries. Chairman Senate Committee on Air Force, Saidu Al-Khali, who said that the primary responsibility of government is to protect lives and property, assured the Air Force that he would do everything within his power to improve the funding of the establishment to enable it. A federal high court in Abuja has faced March 19 to deliver judgment on the suit seeking to enforce the right of internally displaced voters in Borno State to exercise the franchise in the 2015 elections. The Attorney General of the state had gone to court seeking, among other reliefs, that the Independent National Electoral Commission should make special arrangement for registered voters who are internally displaced in the state to vote in their various displaced locations. In his argument, counsel to the plaintiff Ricky Tafa noted that failure by INEC to provide facilities that would allow the IDPs to vote will amount to denying them their constitutional right. But counsel to INEC Onyechi Ikpeazu insisted that the commission has taken administrative measures, that he consequently asked the court to strike out the suit. And now the Ogun State chapter of the Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council has planned to embark on a 3-day warning strike. The said industrial action is to commence from Tuesday, 10th of March, in respect of the deduction of their 4-month salaries, which the council has described as wickedness on behalf of the state government. Our correspondent Olajumoke Olantoji has more.
After a series of letters that were claimed to have been unattended to, the Ogun State chapter of the Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council, which is an association of senior civil servants of Nigeria, has decided to embark on a 3-day warning strike on behalf of the state civil service. Speaking on behalf of the council, the State Secretary Modiu Bello says after a series of negotiation and dialogue concerning the deduction of their 4-month salaries, which includes October to December 2014 and January 2015 respectively, proved abortive. They considered the strike necessary to drive home their points.
Sequel to the refusal of the state government to accede to the demand of workers in the state public service over the unpaid 4 months deductions made from their salaries October, November, December 2014 and January 2015. The Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council, that is JNC, on behalf of the state public servants, hereby issued a 3-day warning strike effective from 10th Tuesday to 12th Thursday, March 2015, to drive home their demands.
Another case made by the council is the unremitted contributory pension funds, which they say is against the constitution of the labor laws.
In realization of plea made by the government, Labour agreed to defer further negotiation on the issue of outstanding contributory pension fund deductions until after the general election. In view of the foregoing, state public servants are hereby directed to stay away from their duty post from 10th Tuesday, March to 12th Thursday, March 2015.
This strike, they say, is just a preamble to what is expected if nothing positive comes up from the state government. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Abeokuta.
You're still watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take another break shortly. We'll be back with more stories. Do join us again.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Outside Nigeria now, Hong Kong's high degree of autonomy from China is being eroded. An influential committee of British one Friday voicing concern about the former colony's direction of travel. In a report on Britain's relations with Hong Kong, The House of Commons Foreign Affairs Committee warned the city could face a crisis of governance unless tensions over how it is ruled are resolved. Last year saw weeks of protests after China announced that candidates to be the city's next leader and a 2017 vote will be vetted by a pro-Beijing committee. Members of parliament were barred from entering Hong Kong by China in December to research the report, as the demonstrations continue, with Chinese officials accusing them of acting as a colonial power. The committee's chairman, Richard Ottawa, said that while it could not force China to change its behavior, it could offer guidance.
I think China's behaviour and direction of travel is rather illustrated by their ban on my committee going to Hong Kong in the first place. It's almost advice to China from a country that's had a democracy for hundreds of years that if you offer the people a bit of democracy, they're going to want the whole lot. And that until they get a complete package of democracy, this is going to be a continuing problem for them and will actually quite possibly undermine the strong position that Hong Kong has out in the Far East. The Foreign Office reports to Parliament every 6 months about what's going on in Hong Kong, and frankly their reports have been rather bland and anodyne. And we're urging them to toughen up their stance, to get off the fence, to say how they really feel about erosions of freedom of press and lack of democracy. And I think when the President's coming over, that's a very good opportunity, in a diplomatic way, we're not an enemy of China, for the Prime Minister and senior Foreign Office officials to convey to the Chinese government that really it's not in their interest to go on the way they are. Well, it's an understandable degree of caution because the Foreign Office obviously won't want to upset China. But all the evidence we got through our hearings was that in past spats, like when the Prime Minister met the Dalai Lama, the underlying economic activity didn't waver. And it continued without any interruption. And I think we would be right to make the protest, but I don't think there'll be any economic consequences.
Well, that's it on CoreTV News at 7. And thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. Bye for now.